I'm wondering, and it is a good question. Like, which way? You see, Lamont Peterson, especially once he stepped foot at 147 pounds, he's a different fighter. He's been inactive, but we don't really know who he is because in his good performances at 147, he's been this good pressure fighting power puncher. When he fought Danny Garcia, even though he's been walking around huge with these little ass shorts on, you know, pause. I'm talking about in the Evanescence fight. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, what fight is he going to fight? Is he going to fight the pressure fighter, power puncher like he did against Felix Diaz and like he did against Evanescence? Was it Evanescence or was it Zaka Takalin? I always get him Evanescence. That's the guy who beat Shane Mosley. Okay. Is he going to fight that fight, or is he going to fight that Danny Garcia fight where he was doing all that excessive movement and just was coming in when he wanted to? Now, when he did come in, he was successful. By the way, I am one of those people that think Danny Garcia won that fight, but I can see how people said Lamont Peterson won. He just didn't engage enough, And the saying goes, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. He couldn't win fighting that way. But now he's in the unofficial tournaments of sort, because if you look at this fight, he dropped his WBA world title. Luke Matisse is fighting for that title January the 27th to be able to get this fight, because Keith Thurman is the WBA Super World. If you don't know, there are two belts for 147. I know I have to keep explaining it for new people. You have to understand that. He was the WBA World. Keith Thurman was the WBA Super World. So he had to drop that WBA World title because you can't unify with that somewhat underling title. So he's fighting, IBF champion Errol Spence. And basically the winner of this will go on to basically be in the Keith Thurman sweepstakes, because the WBC released yesterday that Keith Thurman is allowed one voluntary defense. Then he has to fight Sean Porter if he wins. Then he has to fight the winner of Brandon Rios versus Danny Garcia. Now, basically, if people want to see Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman, which has been all the news people have been talking about, then Keith Thurman has to choose if he beats Sean Porter. See, it's a complex situation. If Keith Thurman beats his voluntary, which they're saying is going to be Jesse Vargas, if he beats Sean Porter, then he'll have to fight the winner of Brandon Rios or Danny Garcia. And if he don't, and if he don't go that route, then he would have to fight Errol Spence, or Lamont Peterson, who was that IBF, because a unification trumps a mandatory. You see what I'm saying? So, Errol Spence is going to get it. And also, think about it like this. They're all Al Haymon fighters. Al Haymon has shown us time and time again that when he wants his fighters to fight each other, they will fight each other. And Keith Thurman himself said that he hasn't seen anything with Errol Spence's name on it, just like Errol Spence hasn't seen anything with Keith Thurman. Al Haymon, from my understanding, will come to you and say, okay, well, you can fight this guy, this guy, this guy, not this guy yet. You see what I'm saying? So even though these guys are going at each other in the media, or more so Errol Spence going at Keith Thurman, because that's all he's asked about. So of course they're going to say, well, listen, the guy don't want to fight me. The guy don't want to fight me. And he's doing all these interviews everywhere, especially it's going to be more and more and more. And Keith Thurman's name's going to come up. He's just going to say, well, it's up to him, So that's why it's seeming like Keith Thurman is ducking him, because Keith Thurman's not talking about it. If Al Haymon wants it to happen, it'll happen. But do you feel that Lamont Peterson has a chance to win? Now, in my opinion, Errol Spence is a 154-pound fighter fighting at 147. He's huge. He started his career, at 154, and he gets to 147. We haven't heard anything about him having any issues to make weight. Whereas Lamont Peterson, he is a 147-pound fighter, but you can't see him fighting at 154. You can see Spence, though, right? Let's go look at Lamont Peterson's resume. Please subscribe. As you can see, all the links to my social media are popping up. Oh, yeah, we got to move this. What am I doing? There we go. Put this up here. Oh, we got to zoom in anyway. 35-3-1 with 17 KOs. As I was saying, when he fought Evanescence, he was like this pressure fighter, right? When he fought Felix Diaz, he was this pressure fighter. Also, a lot of people felt he lost his fight to Felix Diaz, by the way. He fought Danny Garcia. He was doing all his movement. Now, notice something. He had these 2 fights in 2015. Then just one fight, then just one fight in 2017 and no fights in 2016. He's had one fight in basically since Evanescence, since Felix Diaz. He's had one fight in what? Over 2 years. So that may go against him. If you can look at this right here, and we got that footage, and people may wonder, we gotta go check it out. It's a part of the show. We gotta go check it out. People may wonder, if Matisse stopped him, Matisse was considered like a beast at the time. Matisse at that point in time was scaring the hell out of everybody. People even thought Danny Garcia was scared of him, but now Matisse is in a situation right now where he's trying to find himself. He's fighting on January the 27th on the undercard. On the undercard of Jorge Linares versus Marcito Gesta. That's going to be on HBO. If you don't know, Spence versus Peterson is January the 20th in the Barclays Center. It's a lot of people been added to that card. Prince Charles Martin is on the card. He's fighting the TBA, to be announced. Who else been added to the card? Let's go look at it real quick. While I'm doing these other things. In the meantime. So, in my opinion, I'm excited for the fight. In my personal opinion, even though I am going, put it this way: I'm excited for the fight, but I'm not excited to go to the fight. So, I'm going to be going to the fight to cover the fight. It's going to be work, but this is one of those fights that I would rather be at home, covering. So, here's the full card right here for those who don't know. Let me zoom in for you. You got Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson, Robert Easter versus Javier Fortuna, Adam Kornacki versus Lego Kladazi, Marcus Brown versus Francie Nitu, Anthony Peterson, that's Lamont Peterson's brother, versus a TBA, Prince Charles Martin, walks this earth like a god still, Amanda Serrano defending her title, Ivan Gulam, Joe Williams, Keyshawn Williams, Richard Hutchins, Dylan Price, and Matthew Gonzalez. What I was looking for is this. That's what I was looking for. Unfortunately, people don't want to forget this. And it shouldn't be. It happened. Hold up. What did I do with it? It shouldn't be forgotten. Right?
Для нанесения удара. Не удалось, увы. Да, Матис есть Матис. Да не надо, Стив, останови это все. Смотрим, как это было. Поцельный совершенно. Смотрите, из какого положения он ударил. Видите, заведено плечо назад. И так это рубанул, как серпом, что называется.
Can that guy take Errol Spence's power? A lefty? That's a legitimate question. And also, is he going to make him cut this beard? You think he going to make him cut the beard? Because that beard has been outrageous, like his last several fights. And a beard that big can somewhat, act as a cushion. We'll see, though, man. I don't want this video to go on for no 20 minutes like my last one did. Plus we have a lot to talk about. Also, tomorrow, we're going to have some very likely later on in the day after it's all edited and everything, some very high quality content from Lamont Peterson's media workout. We're stepping up our game here, Shout out to Maurice, who's holding it down there in D.C. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live, and of course, as I said, I'm going to the fight, so therefore it's going to be a lot of videos we're going to be putting out about this fight over the next, couple of weeks. The fight is now, about 17 days away or something like that? I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.